Today I'm telling you about some clusters that are beginner friendly and also for the experienced veteran player on Unofficial PvE in Ark Survival Ascended to see which ones are actually worth joining. For this video I'm going to look at the rates, player count, the shop system, community, progression, and overall of each cluster. A cluster in Ark Survival Ascended is a group of individual servers connected by a shared ID. This linkage allows players and server admins to seamlessly transfer their characters, items, and tame creatures between different maps. For this video I'm going to look at the rates, the player count, the shop system, community, progression, and overall of each server. I'm not saying any of these servers are perfect, and server info can always change over time, but this should give you a better idea of what each cluster offers before you spend hours building on one. The first server we have is Mystic Isles. Mystic Isles has a 4 times XP, 4 times harvest rate, 4 times taming, and 10 times breeding. This cluster also has a currency, a shop, offers crossplay, custom mods, big variation of creatures, and pretty healthy player count, usually around 20 to 60 players. The biggest things that stand out about Mystic Isles are the higher rates on weekends, their events, the higher player count, and the custom mods that actually the owner makes for the cluster. For beginners, this type of server could be a really good option if you want a little faster progression without getting completely crazy with the rates and finding a long-term home. The 4 times rates mean you are not stuck grinding forever, but you still have to actually play the game. You still need to gather, tame, build, and work your way up. The 10 times breeding rate is also really nice because breeding on official settings can be painfully slow, especially for newer players who do not have unlimited time to play. The higher player count is a good sign, but it can also go both ways. More players usually means a more active community, more trading, and more people around to help, but it can also mean more taking base spots and more competition for popular areas. Overall, Mystic Isles feels like a solid cluster for all types of players who want an active server, more variants of dinos, boosted rates, events, and a community that already has players on it. The second server is Domination. Domination has 3 times XP, 3 times harvest, 3 times taming, and 3 times breeding. It does not have currency in-game, but it does have a Patreon that offers subscriptions for perks to supporter-only servers and monthly dinos and things of that nature. It also has crossplay for ASA, not ASE, and the player count is usually around 5 to 20 players. The main notes for Domination are that it has been around for years, has a friendly community, and is vanilla friendly. The server looks like it is more for players who want Ark to still feel close to normal, but less painful than official. The 3 times rates are not too high, which can actually be a good thing for beginners. You still learn the base game properly, you still learn how to farm, tame, build, survive, and progress without everything being handed to you instantly. The lower player count could be good for someone who wants a quieter server with less chaos. It may also mean there are more open base spots compared to a very packed server. The biggest positive here is the long-term server history. If a server has been around for years, it usually means it is not just some random server that might disappear tomorrow. For beginners who want a slower, more vanilla-friendly experience with a smaller community, Domination could be a very good choice. The third server is Arcade. Arcade has 2 times XP, 3 times harvest, 4 times taming, and 2 times breeding. It has an in-game currency, a shop, crossplay, and a player count around 10 to 60 or more. The main notes for Arcade are events, a higher player count, and more of a long-term progression feel. The server is built for players who want to stay on a server for a while instead of blasting through everything fast. The XP and breeding rates are lower compared to some of the others, which means progression may feel slower, but that is not always a bad thing. For beginners, slower progression can actually help you learn the game better. You're not instantly max level, you're not instantly breeding boss dinos, and you still have goals to work toward. The 4 times taming is nice because taming is one of the most important parts of Ark, and making that part faster helps new players without completely ruining the progression. The higher player count and events are also big positives because it gives the cluster more life. A beginner-friendly cluster should not feel completely dead. The possible downside is that higher population servers can be more crowded, like I stated earlier, so finding a good base spot may take some more time. Overall, Arcade seems like a good fit for players who want a more active server with long-term progression, events, and a large community. The fourth server is Neebs Gaming. Neebs Gaming has 3 times XP, 5 times harvest, 8 times taming, and 10 times breeding. It has a currency, it has a shop, offers crossplay, and a player count around 5 to 20 or more. The main notes are that it is family friendly. It has a friendly community, max level dinos are 300, and the admins are highly praised. The server has some of the higher rates out of the group, especially with taming at 8 times and breeding at 10 times. For beginners, that can be really nice because taming and breeding are 2 of the most time consuming parts of Ark. The 5 times harvest rate also means farming should feel much better than official without being completely ridiculous. The family friendly and friendly community notes are also important. If someone is brand new to Ark, the community can matter more than the rate. A helpful server can make the game way easier to learn. The max level 300 dinos are also worth mentioning because That changes the power level of this whole cluster. New players should know that before joining because it affects taming, breeding, boss fights, and overall progression. The smaller player count could be a good thing if you want a more relaxed server where people actually recognize each other. Overall, Neebs Gaming looks like a good option for players who want a friendly community, faster taming, faster breeding, and a more relaxed PvE experience. Now, after looking at all 4 clusters, here's how I would break them down. I do want to state that all 4 of these clusters have been around for several years. If you want a long-term active server with good rates, events, and bigger player bases, Mystic Isles and Arcade are definitely going to be your solid options. If you want a community-friendly, family-friendly cluster with faster taming and breeding, Neebs Gaming is definitely a really good solid option. If you are looking for a cluster that is strictly the base game but with better rates than official, Domination is definitely your best bet. The biggest thing I would tell beginners is this: do not just join a server because it says beginner friendly. Check the rates, check the rules, check if the Discord is active, check if the admins are around, see if they're responsive, check if people are actually helpful, and most importantly, make sure the server fits the way you want to play. If you are brand new and want to learn ARK properly, I would probably avoid servers that are boosted way too high. They can be fun, but they can also skip too much of the game and you won't learn as much. Now, if you're a casual player with limited time, slightly boosted or moderately boosted servers are probably the sweet spot. Also, you want the game to respect your time, but you also want it to still feel like ARK. For me, a good beginner-friendly server is not just about easy rates, it's about the clear rules, helpful players, fair progression, active admins, and enough quality of life changes to make the game fun, especially without removing the survival part completely. So that is what I look for before committing to any unofficial PvE cluster. Now, if you play on any of these servers, or you do end up going to play any of these servers, please let me know what your experience was like in the comments. Or if you would like to DM me and make it more personal, that is fine as well. And if there are any other PvE clusters you think I should test next, drop them in the comments. Now, if this video helped you in any way, please just do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, like, and we'll see you.